Good morning. I had a dry tent today. Can you believe it? I think it was the first morning totally dry. Inside rainfly, outside rainfly. I know I broke out in like a couple of cold sores, not one, not two, but I think three. But it's like on the inside of my lip. It's not like on the outside. And so I've gotten cold sores since I was a little girl. I would get like always in the winter or something, and or when you're nervous. Then like I won't get one for 5 years. As I get older, they're less. What's interesting is based on stress, it's actually a great indicator. So the question is, what was happening? I wish I knew exactly when I had the breakout, because then I would look at that day and be like, I have to be fairly stressed out to have what you would call an outbreak. I feel like it happened after I did the dip in Yellow Belly, because I remember thinking, did something happen with the water? And I think that's also when my swelling of my face seemed to be happening. I was in there briefly, but I don't know. I mean, it was sort of like the one thing that was different from my regular routine. I'm eating the same foods, I'm touching the same stuff, using the same creams, sunblock, all that stuff. But that was the one thing that like I went into a lake. Anyway, I know I wasn't supposed to reveal that, was I? Oh my gosh, cold sores, herpes. Yep. Oh well, it is what it is. All right, let's go dump our trash. In my prep videos for this trip, I showed you the rack and what I did with the bolts. I don't think I showed you really how it's sort of set up. So this was also a really nice light rack. I'll put the link below in the description of what it is. This is like a drawer liner. This is smooth. So this rubber thing, just so it's sticky, it doesn't let the bag slide on here. And then I always pack the bag with the seam at the bottom. This has a seam, this bag, so that's where I try to make it flat with the bag that's inside. There's the amount of overhang. And this is just a cargo net that I purchased at Walmart. This had some nice strong hooks, which I showed you again in the prep video how I sealed some of them because the little rubber tips had fallen off. And based on the design of this rack, see there's a nice hole there. I can just put this hook right in there. I was putting it in there, but I didn't like how tight it was, and I didn't want it to start to sever this. And what's nice is it kind of hooks around the seat of this. These corners come through this, and then this hook just goes underneath the rack like that. And I didn't want it to puncture the bag, so again, those rubber tips and then the extra little glue that I put on to make it soft so it's not a sharp tip. What I do with the center one on this side of that, see? So that's just in there. For extra security, I have two bungees, and this one basically just goes exactly where I showed you, that part under the seat, and it angles across like this, and then the other one I do across like this. And this setup has been absolutely fantastic. It's like having one big pannier on the back. So I was going down black diamond, rocky, single track terrain. This thing did not miss a beat. Not only was the bag not almost falling off, but my rack stayed in place perfectly. And what's also nice about this is cars can see me really well with the bright yellow. It's like my tail lights. One thing I'll say about Rock Bros bags, they're really tough, which I've mentioned before. And that's really important because there's many times when you rest your bike against a tree or whatever. So you really want the material to be able to be scratched by branches and stuff. I haven't taken any of this stuff off, by the way. I only just took this off because of the ride yesterday. This is the thing that I'm learning on the suspension on the front, which I didn't have last year. I was like, oh yeah, I can use the suspension when I'm going down hills. Well, here's your shocks. But when you have them totally loose, the bag comes, in a sense, pushes the cables down. The cables go. But again, this is going down like really rocky, bouncy. So you're really putting a lot of pressure there on the front. But that's kind of what it's for. So it doesn't really work with a handlebar bag or however your cables are. Maybe you don't have these cables hanging like this. And I've had to pull them up and they slide back down. And I know there's things you can do to cinch them. But I didn't do that before I left because it never crossed my mind. This wonderful couple, been married 30 years. Wow, awesome.
Back in my running days, we used to run some loops up in here.
Oh, good for you. You're a trail runner?
Yeah, we used to do a lot of that, 20 milers. This is quite the trail system. I recognized Barron Lake and War Bonnet. I hear a lot of people are up hike this. Yeah, you could bike all the way. That'd be a nice loop to take on your bike.
Have you been up here?
No, not much.
Guess what I just figured out I've been doing? Last time I always like rotated the camera to use the lenses on the other side of my iPhone, obviously, because that's where the great lenses are. And then I just got lazy this year and I've just been using the where I can see myself. I always clean the lens before I shoot, pretty much. But I've been cleaning the lens, the big lenses, not the little one on the self where you can see yourself side. Oh my gosh, what an idiot. Now the trip is over. I'll be curious to see how it compares because between the lenses, I mean, this one's so much smaller. It's a huge difference visually. I'm just wondering if it's gonna capture, since I put it on 4K this trip, not last trip, but I'm gonna export it at 1080. I'll be curious if I made a mistake by not just doing the phone rotation like I did last year. And I wonder if 4K actually records from the selfie side. Probably things I should have looked into before I left, but I don't shoot for YouTube. I shoot for me, and so a lot of that stuff never mattered before. But now since I'm on YouTube, it's like I'm trying to think of better quality for you guys. I don't care. I was already here. Oh, that's what I want. See that camper van? See the long, like old school Volkswagen? It's long. The pop-up is awesome. Put your bikes on the back. I don't know what kind of gas miles it is. You cut through here and this brings you up towards Elk Meadow where we're headed. There's more of a single track you can take, but I'm not in the mood to be pushing my bike over a lot of the rocks, which these trails around here seem to have. See these assholes? They're zinging all over the place, going by people's tents, just stirring up tons of dirt because they don't care. Quite a lot of selfishness out here in these parts. This dry camp section versus the one that I slept in has endless choices. I mean, if you have big rigs, wow. Here it is. Yay. Elk Mountain Loop. It's a popular mountain bike loop to do. I'm really excited and I'll tell you why. If you go to season one, episode 4, coming down from Banner Summit towards Stanley, that morning I come to this vast field with the incredible mountain range and all these flowers. It was mid-July, and you'll see a long, beautiful path going off into the trees. Ever since that moment, I've been craving to get on that trail. This should connect us. And you know what else I'm excited about? We're on single track with bike bags. That's awesome. Oh, look at this. This brings us back to the road. We're taking 853 towards Elk Meadow. It's very, very, very stupid. The trail doesn't bring you down to the water, but it is a huge swimming pool, like 3 feet deep. Wow, what a fun spot. You ready for the big reveal? Wow, beautiful. Here's where I'm at a quandary, but I think I already know what I'm gonna do. This trail should take us right through the middle of this field, and then we head into that mountain. We're right here. See, I took this and came along here. We're gonna cross over this gorgeous field to the other side. And then we were gonna climb up, it looks like 1,000 feet. Elizabeth Lake is at 8,100. We're at 6,700. So this is gonna be gnarly. It's 2 o'clock. We have plenty of time to take breaks, to take our time. We're not gonna get lost. There's gonna be some hike-a-bike, but hopefully the grade isn't too crazy. We have about 15 miles to go. We're at 9 miles now. So like from here to like the paved road would be 15 miles. I usually just follow a route. I'm not looking at elevation, climb, or any of that. I just follow the route. Once you look at the route and you see the numbers, now it's like I'm making a conscious decision to do this. Like I don't have to do this, but I just need to pretend that I didn't look at a map and that this is the route. And what a stunning route it is. Well, there's a lot of rain, so they did say there's a chance for mud and oh yeah, look at them. Oh no, that's some serious mud. I guess I'll just have to push my bike. I haven't pushed my bike through a muddy field before. This is how it is. Oh my God, is there like a pond up here? Oh no. Oh, fishies. Well, we can do this. We can do this, damn it. I'm not being intimidated by mud and okay, bodacious. Get your ass up here. Love this handle. All right. Well, I guess I won't run into anybody. Look what it brought me to. How beautiful. Good time to get some water. Oh, so pretty. Oh, so nice. I finally get to use this Sawyer like this because I've been wanting, I thought it was a brilliant concept. Let's see. Awesome. We hit that, we go left, and then it turns into the mountains. I think it gradually goes up there. But that's not bad. We can hike a bike that. And yes, I do periodically turn around and I scan the grasses for eyeballs. In Africa, out in the plains of the Serengeti, here we are. You know we're being watched. And the animals are deciding, look, there's a human on the loose. What do you think? That was actually refreshing and kind of fun. And the only reason was because the brush is soft. It's not like hard, prickly. Because of that, it wasn't a big deal. I'd rather do that than pushing my bike up 13% grades. It's hard pedaling through this. Remember what I was saying? Where I thought the trail went along the mountain and we were gonna go up like that side of that thing? That mountain, the gradual, yeah. Yeah, no, I was wrong. Would you like to see where we're headed? We are headed into that. And I have a feeling the climb is inside that. Oh yeah. Time for a sufferfest.